How's it going, everybody? I'm Lewis and we've got a new developer blog from the Old School RuneScape team. This is for LootShare. So recently, they've put out a few LootShare developer blogs, and they even polled ShardShare. From this, they've managed to get quite a lot of feedback about what sort of a loot system could be implemented in Old School RuneScape. So let's have a look at the basic system. The idea of the LootShare system is that everybody in a team gets a chance at receiving a drop. If a LootShare team gets a kill, the drop will be given to a random member of the team, so players that are in tank and support roles aren't disadvantaged as people doing the DPS. Unlike previous LootShare systems, this system will mean that team damage isn't pooled. A LootShare team will only get the drop if a member in that team deals the most damage to the boss. This change means that solo players will still be able to compete with teams. They won't just be able to get raided by any random team and lose the drop that they want. This also means that there's no need for designated LootShare worlds. In order to use LootShare, your team must join a friends chat. Then, both the owner of the friends chat and the friends inside the chat must enable LootShare. When enabling LootShare, there's a 60-second delay, so you can't just quickly switch it on and off. And the same when you're disabling it. And if LootShare makes it into Old School RuneScape, Loot Broadcast will mention whether or not a drop was received via LootShare. This will help members of a team recognise if someone's using LootShare or not. This seems like a fairly decent system. It's basically give a random player in the team the drop. However, if someone that's not in the team managed to get more damage than any individual in the team, then they'll be getting the drop like usual. Also in this developer blog, they've got an additional feature that they want to discuss, and that's LootShare Potential. Back in 2007, when LootShare was first introduced, it had something called LootShare Potential. Whenever loot was shared throughout LootShare, the members of the team who didn't receive the drop would gain LootShare Potential. The LootShare system would be more likely to award drops to members of the team with the most LootShare potential. The aim was to distribute the drops evenly throughout a team over time. While this system could be fairer in principle, there are a few drawbacks. Most notably, the way that a player might be able to rack up a lot of LootShare potential in a relatively safe place, then run over to, for example, a boss like Corporeal Beast, and then just get a better chance of getting those drops. The Old School RuneScape team described this as cashing in your karma. They're therefore polling LootShare Potential as a separate question from the main LootShare system. Personally, I think LootShare Potential is exactly what they've just said. It is a fairer system, however, people could abuse it. And it's something we've got to say to ourselves, do we want this to potentially be abused or not? So when it comes to voting in the poll, this is going to be the structure. We're going to have two questions. The first question will be, LootShare is a system which gives everyone in a team a chance at receiving big drops from bosses. Should LootShare be added to Old School RuneScape? And the second question will be, if LootShare is introduced, should it use LootShare Potential to make players more likely to receive loot if they haven't actually had a big drop? As always, when it comes to any developer blog, the Old School RuneScape team really want to know what we've got to say about what they're talking about. If we the players don't want them to be adding something, then they don't want to add it. That's simply how this community game works. This poll will be coming out soon, so make sure you keep an eye out for my video on that. If you want to watch my video on the latest Old School RuneScape update, please click here for Architectural Alliance. And if you want to know what's happening this month in Old School RuneScape, please click here for the month ahead post in March. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and share, and if you want to keep up to date with the Old School RuneScape updates, DevBlogs and polls, please subscribe. I've been Lewis, thanks for watching, goodbye.